Actually, I went to the monastery just 2 months after his departure.
Oh,
That
Oh,
I was, but I've seen him a lot in appearance because
really?
after the
oh, is that
departure,
right?
he had to appear a lot in the old days, and especially on the wall of the monastery with a strong light and stuff like that. And God gave me a very great blessing because I had to blame him every time I remember him, and I take his blessing, the body, his the blessing of his body. He was still in the tafus, in the tomb, in the cemetery, but I had to tell him why you didn't wait for me, just 2 months.
Mm.
Mm.
So one day, I was making the urban and waiting for the urban to be raised. Going around in the monastery, it was very dark. We were very just few monks in the whole monastery, and the rest are elders. All of them were very old, and I found somebody standing in the place which his cell was. So I said, "Who is there?" He didn't answer. I said, "It's not good for you to not to answer. I'm Abuna Bishoy Antoni. Nobody can scare me. I scare everyone. So please say, who are you?" I was very young and crazy until now. I am actually. Then he said, he didn't say anything. So I came closer and I said, "Look, when I came closer, I felt, oh, it's not, there is no fear, no fear, but you feel, oh, okay,
Mm.
something in your body that you have to respect a lot." So I said, "I have a light torch in my pocket, you know." He didn't move or he didn't say anything. So I got my torch and I put the light into his face, pointed into his face. All of a sudden, I found like a very, very strong light surrounding him with very weird light. It's not like normal light. And Abuna Justus in the middle. I said, "Abuna Justus." He uh, he said yes. So I made a metania. Then when I go up, I found nobody, nothing. I
Wow.
said, maybe a blessing from Abuna, especially for me, because I wish to see him. He showed me himself to say, "I'm here."
Mm.
Or uh, maybe it's a hallucination because I always think about him. It's
Mm.
okay. By any means, it's a blessing for me. For me, I don't keep thinking because we are already complicated. I don't need more complications. So I said, okay,
Mm.
if it is a blessing, it's okay. If it is just a hallucination, it's a blessing also. And at the end of the day, I had to go to Abuna Tadros every day to say to see what he needs to clean his cell, to clean his clothes. To He was one of the elders, and I have to take care of him. And when I entered, there were 2 or 3 monks standing also there, and he said, "Abuna Bishoy, you're happy. You're happy." I said, "Yes, I am happy because I've seen you, Abuna." He said, "No, because you have seen Abuna Justus." So there were
Wow.
nobody with me.
Mm.
No one have seen me at that time in the middle of the night. I said, "Abuna Tadrus, what are you saying?" He said, "Yeah, tell them you have seen Abuna Justus." I said, "How did you know?" He said, "He passed by me and told me I appeared
Yeah.
to
Hidden.
Abuna Shoy."
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I said, "Ya halawa, you're making, and you're telling each other whatever you want."
Uh,
And
it's a private club, yeah.
but it was a blessing also that he said that to be sure it wasn't a hallucination. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
real. Yeah,
to give you confirmation. That's so beautiful.
yeah.
That's so beautiful, Yabi.
Have you seen him
Abuya,
again, Father?
I have,
Go ahead, Father Antri.
I'm very curious to ask because, because I unworthily have taken his name. I really want to know, uh, if your reverence has had any encounters with the great Saint Anthony. I also really want to know why you chose Saint Anthony's monastery specifically, because I know that um, probably at the time that your reverence entered into monasticism, Saint Anthony's monastery in the Red Sea is very picky when it comes to picking the people that will endure the life in Saint Anthony. They're very traditional, very conservative, an incredible group of men. So I'm very curious as to what made you choose Saint Anthony, and if you've ever had any encounters with the great Abba, because I heard he's very active at his monastery as well.
Mm.
Yeah, we had to go when we were still young to St. Anthony Monastery in a very, very hard way. So you
That's
take
right.
at least the whole day traveling until you reach the monastery to stay for 2, 3 days and come back the whole day. It was very, very hard. No buses goes to the monastery and no cars. I don't think I ever ride a car going to the monastery before I become a monk or after I became a monk for at least 2, 3 years. It was very hard. I chose the monastery because, first of all, my heart was there. I,
Mm.
I've seen, I've seen God among the monks, the simplicity of the monks there, and I love them so much. I love their way of life. No electricity, no water except in the spring. Everything was wood, even fire to make the urban, to make the bread. It was amazing life, which I'm raised in Cairo, so for me, it was something like mystery.
Mm.
So, and it was very far, and nobody can come to me. So because of that, I chose Saint Anthony.
Beautiful.
But God had another plan for me. Not the people will not come to me, but I will go to the people.
You will go
So
to them.
the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you had a chance to meet St. Anthony Abba, or did you hear stories about him?
Saint Anthony had to. We had to when we had to walk in the desert, especially in the night when there is no light. You can easily lose your way in the desert. And we had to walk either 16 kilometers from the main road or 50 kilometers from Zafarana to the monastery, walking. So, especially when it comes to night, you can't see anything. All the
Mm.
ways are the same, all the mountains are the same. So, we had to see a light, a very strong light from the monastery, showing us the way from the 16 kilometers. So we keep following the light until we reach the monastery. So the first time for me to see that with my friends, we then thanked Abuna in the monastery, one of the fathers in the old Saidi, Upper Egyptian father, and said, "Thank you, Abuna, and thank you so much, even for the light that you turned off to show us the way." He laughed and smiled and said, "What light, my son? We don't have electricity and we don't have light. And even if we have electricity, which light can make it clear to 16 kilometers? The light of Saint Anthony, Habibi. Saint
Mm.
Anthony cleared the road for you. Go and say thank you, Saint Anthony."
Mm.
Oh
So
my
since
goodness.
then, every time we see the light, we said, thank you, Saint Anthony. You are waiting for us to come."
Yeah. We hear that he's very active in the monastery.
Yeah, a lot of people have seen his light and have seen him.
Yeah.
And he made a lot of miracles, very, very, يعني, very strange miracles. Like one day, parents forgot their little son. He was 5, 6 years old in the cave of Saint Anthony.
Mm.
So when they came, they asked each other, "Where's the boy?" "I thought he's with you." And mother said, "I thought he's with you." So they said they have to go back quickly to find him. They went, they didn't find him, and it became dark at that time. So they called the monks to help them So many monks went with very big light, with microphone, calling him. I can't remember his name. I think it was Bishoy also. And Bishoy, Bishoy. They tried to find him. They didn't find him at all. So the whole group, 50 people were crying, and other groups were crying also, that for sure the little boy fell from the mountain to the valley and died. So we had to close the gates of the monastery in the evening, and all the guests were staying outside in their buildings. And in the morning early, Abuna went to the church to open the church and to light the candles. He found the boy in front of the church. He said to the boy, how did you come while the gates are closed? He said, the old Abuna brought me here. He said to him, old Abuna, are you Bishoy? He said, yeah. I said, where have you been since yesterday? He said, I found Abuna, old Abuna. He's so nice. He took me into his lab, and I slept till the morning. He brought me here. He show him Saint Anthony picture. He said, this is the Abuna. He said, yeah, this is the Abuna. So we know that that boy slept in the lap of Saint Anthony till the morning.
Yeah, that's
And
incredible.
for the audience who has never seen the landscaping of what St. Anthony's Monastery looks like, you have to trek all the way up a mountain in the desert to get to the cave of St. Anthony. We're talking about this is a several hour trek. This is not right next door and it's a 5 minute walk. So for the boy to be stranded on a mountain in a cave that the opening of the cave, and Abuna, you can correct me, the opening of the cave, I would not be able to walk in. I myself, as a very wide and broad person, I would not be able to fit. So we're talking about the cave of St. Anthony is something that it should be on every person's bucket list. You have to be able to go take the blessing of St. Anthony. So for this boy to be stranded on this mountain by himself and to say that I slept in the lap of this old Abuna, this old man, only to realize that it was the great Abba Anthony, this is unbelievable. It's absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to double down about what you're saying, truly one of the best spiritual experiences I've been through personally is to pray the midnight praises in a liturgy in the cave of St. Anthony. It's
Oh,
just
Abuna,
a
you're
feeling
so lucky. What a blessing.
beyond, like going up the mountain, starting 11 p.m. midnight, going up there. It takes about, like, 45 minutes to an hour, depending, like, and there's a staircase now, so it's easier. And then we spend 2, 3 hours with midnight praises. 4 a.m., I believe the liturgy started. And it's like you can only fit 10 to 12 people in the cave. It's just an incredible, like, surreal experience.
Mm,
Um, yeah, definitely encourage anyone from the audience that hasn't been. It's a must. You must go to the St. Anthony's Cave and have some, at least some prayerful time over there.
yeah.
There is one day Abuna Yusuf, in the old days, he came with two sisters to visit me, and we decided to take him to the cave of Saint Anthony to pray. And when we went, it was early at midnight or 1 a.m. And it was very hard for Abuna to climb the mountain, and until he reached there, he was very tired. So we found some people already inside the cave praying or praising the Lord, and so we thought that there's some guests already uh, went before us. So I, because I don't know how many inside, I said, guys who are inside, please come out. We want to pray. So Abuna, he said to me, he was sitting beside the entrance of the cave and said, let me take rest a little until they finish. So I was waiting for them to finish, and I said again, guys, please finish quickly. We want to start the liturgy. And they were saying something like, uh, praise the Lord, praise God, like that. I said, it's okay, anything, but they have to finish. Anyway, after a while, there's no voice at all. So we were waiting for them to come out. They didn't. So I said, please, please, please come out. We can't go in because Abuna Yusuf was uh, a little bit, yani his body is wide and bigger. And anyway, when I didn't find anybody coming out of this of the cave, I went in to tell them, would you please go out? I found nobody. There were anchorites praying the liturgy, and I found all the vessels outside wet. And I said, Abuna, I'm so sorry, you will not be able to pray the liturgy.
Yeah.
He said, "Why?" I said, because somebody prayed already before us. And I told him, he said, oh, that's very good. It's a blessing for us just to be, we attend a little part of a liturgy with anchorites and saints.
Mm. So for us
Abuna, for the,
now, we
yeah, please go ahead, Abu.
no, please go ahead. I know exactly what you're about to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, because there's some people who grew up understanding what an anchorite is, or as Abuna is explaining, um, the church, especially among the monastics, is filled with people who are granted the gift of being spirit born, which means that they could biolocate, and they transcend time and space, and that is one of the gifts that God grants them. The same way that we see it in the book of Acts when the deacon Philip is allowed to be able to be transported in a spirit to be able to go serve the Enoch. And so in the desert, it's incredible to see how it is that there are so many holy people, both men and women, who are capable of coming together among this closed community of anchorites, and they find an altar to be able to pray at together. So the story that Abu Bishoy just witnessed to is this beautiful example of how it is that these holy men and women still exist among us, and they go and they pray, and then they intentionally leave the altar a mess. They leave the vessels out. Why? So that when the people who come after them arrive, they know that the altar has been used, a liturgy has already been prayed on it, and in the Coptic Orthodox rite, an altar can only be used once per liturgical day in order for in order for you to be able to pray a liturgy. That's their way of telling you this altar has already been prayed on. So
Mhm.
that's why one of Shoy is saying it's already been prayed on. We won't be able to pray the liturgy this morning.